time, so I was not able to complete it. So I'll be completing it kind of today.
You
I
will be
just have last
completing
two,
it
three
today.
questions left.
Ma'am, yesterday were you,
So,
did you had class at 7:40?
Yesterday, no, Shriyam. Yesterday, the class was not there. Um, last 2 days, it was not there. Only today we have resumed the
Only?
classes. Okay.
ma'am,
Today
how's
we
your
have
grandmother
resumed.
doing?
She is doing good now. Abraham, she is better. Good than before, but still improving. Okay.
Mm.
So, yeah. All right. Where were we?
Ma'am, we were on 4.1, 4.2 after the exercises.
Oh, today, when we will have the test of the science?
Shian already
When we
happened.
will have test of yes, Shreya, I sent the paper yesterday. Okay, so you have to solve it and send in the group. Okay.
Oh, question. Okay.
Okay. So we did in the previous session, we did why is it essential to breathe? Okay. Then we saw the process of respiration, which has two parts. One is breathing, another one is the process of conversion of food into energy. We saw both of that. Now, today we will see, we will start from 4.3, that is the process of carrying of oxygen to blood by air. Now, this function, when we talk about the carrying of oxygen, okay, then major role comes that is done by alveoli, okay. It's like a bunch of grapes in the structure, okay, and they are attached to the branches of bronchi in the lungs, okay, like this. Inside the lungs, they are attached, okay. The alveoli are attached. Now, these alveoli are round and are surrounded by blood vessels. So, the exchange of gases, that is the gaseous exchange, takes place inside them. How does this gaseous exchange takes place inside them? The air, when the air that enters the lungs, they contain more oxygen. When this air reaches the alveoli, the blood absorbs the molecules of oxygen and releases the carbon dioxide molecules, which it brings with itself. In this manner, the more carbon dioxide is present in the air being breathed out. Okay, like when we breathe in, more of the oxygen content is there. Okay, so that is absorbed inside us by the blood. Okay, that is oxygen molecules are absorbed, and then the carbon dioxide molecules are released out. Okay, so when we breathe out, then what we breathe out? Carbon dioxide. Okay, the blood takes oxygen from the lungs and returns it to the heart. The heart sends this blood to all the organs of the body to supply oxygen and food. Okay, blood, it takes the oxygen from the lungs, okay, and then returns it to the heart, and then heart pumps this blood, oxygen rich blood, to all parts of the body, okay, all organs of the body. All right. um One video I'll show you about gaseous exchange in alveoli, how it works. Okay, 1 second.
The alveoli are the site of gas exchange in the lungs, and they're located here at the very end of the bronchioles. They have a structure that's something like this. We often describe it as having a sort of cauliflower shape, but basically they're just tiny little air sacs at the end of the bronchioles. If we see it here represented in more of a diagram format, we can see what's going on. First of all, oxygen and carbon dioxide are constantly being supplied and removed through breathing. Let's look a little bit closer at the lining here. Notice that it's only 1 cell thick. Oxygen can diffuse across the cell membrane of the cell that lines the alveolus. From there, it can obviously diffuse across to outside of that cell. The same thing applies for the lining of the blood capillary until eventually it diffuses into the red blood cell where it can bind with hemoglobin to form oxyhemoglobin. Similarly, carbon dioxide can also diffuse across these cell membranes and reach the alveolar sac to then exit the body. Now then, oxygen, as we've already said, is constantly being supplied through breathing, but it's also being taken away from this area because of the blood flow. What this means is that we are constantly maintaining a concentration gradient, which is what allows this transfer of gas, this gas exchange, to continue. There are some important features of the gas exchange surface that you need to know. First of all, it's got a large surface area, which is provided by this particular shape of the alveoli, and also by the fact that there are lots and lots and lots of them inside of the lungs. It's very thin, which provides a short diffusion pathway. Notice that the lining is only 1 cell thick. It's also got a moist lining. The inside of each alveolus sac is moist, which allows gases to dissolve, which then allows them to diffuse across the lining. It's got a very good blood supply. Each one of the alveoli has lots and lots of blood capillaries surrounding it. If we have a little look at what lung tissue looks like under a microscope, we can see this sort of zigzag, crisscross sort of mesh of little almost streams. This is the capillary network, and we can tell that because if we look at one of these individual little red splotches here, those are individual red blood cells. Finally, there is very good ventilation, and that basically just means there's a really good supply of air, which is supplied through breathing. A little bit of exam help on this. You might get asked to describe the features of the lungs that make gas exchange efficient. Well, the exchange surface has a large surface area, and that's provided by the large number of alveoli.
If you
And
want,
the
you can note this down or take a screenshot of it.
surface is only 1 cell thick. Remember that provides a very short diffusion pathway. And it is supplied with blood by a very dense capillary network. So there, you're easily going to get those 3 marks.
Done, ma'am. Taken a screenshot.
You've taken a screenshot? Okay. Understood how the gaseous exchange takes place at the alveoli. I'll show you its diagram as well. Okay. 1 second. Diagram in English, of course. Can you see? So in alveoli, the first diagram is the alveoli, okay? And the inside of it, how it works, that is shown in the second image, okay? Oxygen entering and carbon dioxide leaving it, okay? And from here also, we have red blood cells, okay, here. And red blood cells, the carbon dioxide is released, okay, from the blood, and then the oxygen enters. Okay, like it said that it is only a very thin cell wall, okay, which allows the oxygen to come in and CO2 to be released. Okay, and then the capillaries just take the blood to the heart, okay, which pumps that oxygenated blood to all parts of the body. Okay,
Ma'am,
understood? Yes, Abraham.
one thing is wrong.
Yes. What is it?
Ma'am, I thought that there is arteries take away blood from the heart, right? So the deoxygenated blood from the heart goes in an artery. That's the only artery that carries deoxygenated blood. Then that artery goes to
Hmm.
the lungs, and then from the lungs it goes back to the heart. So my question is, why in the diagram is there a capillary?
Why in the diagram is a capillary? Okay. See, the artery is there that carries blood from the heart to the rest of the body. Okay, that is right. All right. And can you like just repeat the question? What you said at the beginning?
Ma'am, so in the human body you have capillaries and arteries. Arteries are normally the one that carries the blood away from the heart. So arteries, what they do is they take so but in there is one type of artery that mostly arteries are associated with oxygenated blood. But there is one type of artery that carries deoxygenated blood. This one artery flows from the heart to the lungs carrying deoxygenated blood. So my
Hmm.
question is, why are they put capillary in
Why
the diagram?
have they put capillary? Okay. So, Abraham, see, um, the there is a vein, okay, called pulmonary vein, which carries oxygenated blood from the lungs to the heart, okay, from the lungs to the heart. So here, right here, the one that is carrying your oxygenated blood back to the heart is pul- pulmonary vein, okay. Then the pulmonary artery is there, which carries
Yes, ma'am, I
deoxygenated.
understood. I understood.
Yes, I think it's a maybe it's a mistake. Okay.
Ma'am, maybe it's because capillary is also like in veins. You say capillary because it's where the vein branches out. So maybe
Hmm.
this is one of the branches of the vein, and then the vein connects because has so many small veins going to the heart to be a lot.
Yeah, yeah, that is also an explanation that makes sense. Okay. So yes, that may be true.
Ma'am,
All right.
another thing is normal
Yes.
vessels like the ones that doctors have to poke with a needle when they are like injecting something in our body or when they want to take a blood test.
Mm-hmm.
They are not one cell thick, right? They
They
are
are
not
not what?
one cell thick, right?
They are not one cell thick.
Yeah,
No,
ma'am.
Abraham, not every one of it is one cell thick. Okay, some are thicker.
So, ma'am,
Okay.
only the ones that are very, very small can be one cell thick, right?
Yes, yes. Only some are just one cell thick, but the rest can be more thicker.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So gaseous exchange diagram is important. Okay. This diagram is important about the gaseous exchange. All right. You can prepare this diagram also. Okay. Or the previous one, whichever. You can see the wall is there.
Now, if you do this diagram, then that means it's going to take us a long time to draw the cells.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And
so
ma'am,
it's a yes.
and ma'am, these cells are not do not have anything special, right? Except for the red blood cells. Meaning, like they're
No,
not like they're just cytoplasm, nucleus, and cell membrane, right?
right. It's just the hemoglobin, just the RBC, red blood cells, okay, that are doing the work to absorb the oxygen. Okay. Now, Now, the process of converting food to energy in the cell, that is the second part of respiration. One is breathing, okay, gaseous exchange, taking in oxygen, releasing CO2. Another one is the process where the food is converted into energy in the cells. Now, the food after digestion gets converted to glucose, and this glucose reacts with oxygen inside the cell. Now, this reaction produces carbon dioxide, water, and energy. Carbon dioxide is returned back to the lungs by being carried by the blood. Okay, now this process is called cellular respiration. Food plus oxygen gives carbon dioxide plus water plus energy. Okay, when the food is broken down into glucose and it reacts with oxygen, it produces three things. Okay, carbon dioxide, water, and energy. The energy produced by respiration keeps our body warm. With itself, our body is able to perform various functions. Now, there is an activity that you can read. Okay, respiration can also takes place even without oxygen. Okay, it can happen even without oxygen. Okay, that is known as anaerobic respiration. Now, there are some animals which can respire without oxygen, like yeast. This type of respiration is called anaerobic respiration. What happens in this process? The glucose molecules break down into alcohol, carbon dioxide, and a small amount of energy. Sometimes anaerobic respiration happens inside us as well. When we run very fast, do a lot of exercise, or cycle for a long period of time, our body suddenly needs a large amount of energy. In such cases, the amount of oxygen falls short, so the body performs anaerobic respiration for a little while. How? Lactic acid is formed in the muscles of the organs, which has performed work during anaerobic respiration. Okay, so there is a tingling sensation in the muscle due to formation of lactic acid and which subsides on massaging or hot fermentation. Okay.
Man,
Um,
is lactic acid good or bad?
is lactic acid good or bad? It's not bad. Okay, it's not really bad. It just happens when our body needs it. Okay, when our body suddenly needs a large amount of energy. Okay, after a lot of running and all, that time
No,
this happens that it's produced. Yes.
no, lactic acid is an acid, right? So does it start to burn our muscles?
No, no, Abraham, it doesn't burn our muscles. Okay.
Okay, man, thank you.
Yes. Understood anaerobic respiration.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, can you just explain or how a cell does anaerobic respiration?
How a cell does anaerobic respiration. Let me see if I can find a video.
In the biochemistry series, we looked at aerobic respiration. This is the process by which the cells in our body generate ATP through glycolysis, the citric acid cycle, and oxidative phosphorylation. This third step is the one that produces the bulk of the ATP payout, and it relies on the presence of molecular oxygen, because oxygen is the final electron acceptor in the electron transport chain. So without oxygen, this process cannot occur, hence the term aerobic, which means involving oxygen. But there are other methods of ATP production that do not rely on the presence of oxygen that we will want to understand now that we have begun to look at different kinds of organisms. Those would be anaerobic respiration and fermentation. The latter is used by animals such as ourselves when the body is not getting enough oxygen to fuel strenuous activity. And both processes are also used as a metabolic pathway by certain microorganisms that exist primarily in environments without oxygen. So let's get a closer look at these now. With anaerobic respiration, an electron transport chain is still used, but the final electron acceptor at the end of the chain is something other than molecular oxygen. For example, some bacteria will use a sulfate ion and produce hydrogen sulfide instead of water as a byproduct of this activity, which produces an odor of rotten eggs that you may have smelled in certain environments. Fermentation, on the other hand, does not involve respiration of any kind. This will always begin with glycolysis, just as we learned before, as this step does not require oxygen and does result in the production of 2 ATP per glucose molecule. But the pyruvate that results with oxidation by NAD+ will not feed into the citric acid cycle. Instead, something else will happen, depending on which type of fermentation is occurring, so as to regenerate NAD+ from the NADH that is produced, allowing glycolysis to continue. The two types of fermentation are alcohol fermentation and lactic acid fermentation. With the first of these, glucose is oxidized over the 10 steps we learned about to produce 2 pyruvate molecules and 2 ATP molecules, using 2 molecules of NAD+ in the process. Then each pyruvate will undergo decarboxylation to produce acetaldehyde. And finally, acetaldehyde is reduced by NADH to produce ethanol. This allows for the regeneration of NAD+, which can then be used in glycolysis again. The final product, ethanol, is the kind of alcohol that humans consume, hence the term alcohol fermentation. And this process has been utilized for centuries to produce alcoholic beverages such as beer and wine. Yeast, which is a unicellular member of the fungi kingdom, performs alcohol fermentation. So this organism is used in these processes to produce the alcohol we drink, and also by bakers, where the carbon dioxide gas produced during the decarboxylation step is what causes bread to rise. Next, looking at lactic acid fermentation, again glycolysis occurs precisely as we have learned, but this time the pyruvate that is produced will not decarboxylate. Instead, it will be directly reduced by NADH to produce lactate. This again allows for the regeneration of NAD+ for use during glycolysis, and also involves no release of carbon dioxide. Lactate is the conjugate base of lactic acid, and it is the production of this compound by certain fungi and bacteria that allows them to be used in the industrial production of cheese and yogurt. In addition, human muscle cells will resort to this process when the oxygen supply is running low, most typically during prolonged periods of strenuous exercise, when glucose catabolism is going faster than our ability to breathe enough oxygen into the bloodstream to sustain the activity. In such a case, the cells will switch over to fermentation, allowing for a brief burst of additional energy production. But the lactic acid that builds up in the muscles during this activity causes muscle fatigue, which limits the duration that this activity can be sustained. So to summarize, all of the forms of energy production that we have learned, whether aerobic or anaerobic, begin with glycolysis.
Yes,
Ma'am, I
Abraham.
understood. Ma'am, I understood. Thank you.
You understood. Okay. See, this all the process and what chemical reactions are taking place and all, you don't really have to memorize it. Okay. You don't really have to memorize any of it, so don't worry. Okay, you just have to like keep in mind that in anaerobic respiration, there is no use of oxygen. Okay, but glucose is there. Okay, and it's broken down to release the energy. Okay, like the breakdown of glucose takes place into smaller compounds, okay, into ATP molecules, which then ultimately generates the energy. So that is all in like very short and simple way what happens in anaerobic respiration. Okay, like oxygen is not used like because our body's running very low on oxygen. Okay, so until like it gets the oxygen, the process of breaking down of glucose happens faster. Okay, that comparatively happens faster when we are doing a lot of exercise, when we are doing a lot of like physical activity. Okay, so our body switches to taking energy from the breakdown of glucose. Okay, it shifts, and from there, like the burst of energy comes, but again, the effect is through lactic acid, like lactic acid is produced and all. So the effect is that it causes fatigue in the muscles. Okay, and you cannot like really keep on going for a long duration on anaerobic respiration. Okay, it just is there for some period of time. Okay, for a short period of time, shorter period of time, but normal respiration is like continuous, but this burst of energy, this anaerobic respiration, you cannot sustain it for long durations. Okay, that is not
Ma'am,
possible.
ma'am,
Yes.
what we should do, ma'am, is we should take breaks to breathe.
You should take breaks to breathe. Yes, Abraham, that's a good suggestion. Absolutely agreed. Okay. Now, any doubt in anaerobic respiration, Anna and Shriyan? No? Mm. Okay. 4.2 is the homework. Okay. 4.2 is the homework, and we will
But,
stop here now.
but ma'am, you already sent it as homework
I sent it as homework. Okay.
yesterday.
Then,
Yeah, yesterday.
yes. Okay. Okay. So, please complete it if you've not done it yet. Okay. Tomorrow, we will start with 4.6, that is how the process of respiration takes place in other animals. What all, through what parts do they respire, they breathe, and then the breathing of plants. Okay, we'll cover this tomorrow. All right, Anna, have you attempted the science test?
Ma'am, I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Have you attempted the science test?
No, ma'am, I haven't yet.
You haven't yet. Okay, so all of you all please attempt it, all three of you, and turn in the papers by today. Okay, Abraham, Anna, and Shriyan. Okay, do a revision if you want. Okay, but if you open the paper, then please don't do revision. Okay, if you've gone through the paper, then no revision. But if you haven't gone through the paper, then if you want, you can take a revision. But attempt the test and turn it in by today. Okay. Um, 3 to 4 minutes break and then we will begin with maths.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, let's begin.
Yes, ma'am.
Hope you all are there. Can I have your videos on, please? Videos on, please. Shri and Nathaniel. Anna. Yes, Abraham.
Ma'am, I'm unable to turn on my video because of internet issues.
Okay. Okay, then it's okay. Yes,
Ma'am,
Abraham.
we'll be starting with a new chapter in math.
We will be starting with a new chapter. Yes. We'll be starting with the second chapter, integers. Okay. Now, when I say the word integers, integers are basically numbers. Okay. But what numbers? So there are three things that come under integers. Okay.
Ma'am, can
There
I
are
say?
three. Yes, Abraham.
Ma'am, it's natural numbers, meaning like from 1 to infinite, then 0, and then my. So it's like integers are natural like 1, 2, 3, 4, positive, negative, and
Yes.
0.
0.
Ma'am,
Okay. That's right. Positive numbers, negative numbers, and 0. Okay. These three integers we have. Okay. Under integers, there are three types of numbers. Positive numbers, like all the natural numbers. For example, 1, 2, 3, 4 to infinity. Negative numbers are the numbers that are on which side of the number line?
on the left side.
Very good, the left side. Okay, they are on the left side of the number line. Okay, and they have a minus before them. -1, -2, -3, -4, and so on. These are the negative numbers. Then we have third type, okay, that is 0, okay, which is neither negative nor positive, okay. So we call it neutral. Okay, we call it neutral because 0, you cannot say like that 0 is negative or 0 is positive because it's not positive and it's not negative. Okay, it's neutral and it comes at the center of the number line. Okay, if we make a number line, at the center comes 0. Okay, on the right side comes the positive numbers such as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. On the left side comes the negative numbers like -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, and so on. Okay, understood what are integers? Please write this down.
Yes, ma'am. Now, can we just write them down?
Yes, write them down. Done writing?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Anna, done writing?
Yes.
Okay. So now, among integers, we will talk about some things like what are the bigger ones, what are the bigger integers, okay? What are the smaller integers, what is smaller than what, and all of that. Okay, like some basic things we'll talk about. All right, so I'm clearing it. First thing is that every positive integer is greater than every negative integer. Okay, that's the first thing. The positive integers are always greater than the negative integers. Okay, so if I say that which one is greater, 2 or minus 10? So what will be greater among 2 and minus 10?
2 will be the greater, ma'am.
Yes, correct, Rian. 2 will be
If
greater.
the minus number is greater, it will be 12. It will be smaller.
Yes, yes,
They're
Rian.
always the positive integers.
Yes, positive integers are always greater. Okay, say, like even if you take a very big number, okay, like 2 and minus 100. So which one will be greater? 2 only.
Ma'am,
Why?
two.
Yes, why? Why? Because 2 is positive and minus 100 is negative. So,
Ma'am,
no matter,
because
yes,
because on the scale, this is the side where it increases, and this is the side when it decreases, and negative is decreasing.
negative is decreasing. Yes, Abraham, that's right. Okay, so all positive integers are greater than negative integers. Okay, second thing is that positive integers, all positive integers are greater than 0. Okay, all positive integers are greater than 0. Okay, this we know, very basic. 2 and 0, so 2 only will be greater. Okay, 2 only will be greater. Right, so positive integers are greater than 0. Then the third one says that 0 is greater than all negative integers. Okay, 0 is greater than all negative integers. If I write 0 and minus 100, which one will be greater again? 0. Okay, because see, positive integers, they increase. Okay, when we go from 1 to 2 to 3, they keep having more value, like the value keeps increasing. Okay, the value keeps increasing. But if you go back from in the number line, if you go back from 4 to 3, value decreased. 3 to 2, again it's smaller. 2 to 1, again it's smaller. Then 0 means neutral. Okay, 0. Then from 0, when you go back to the left side, that is the negative numbers. Okay, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, the value keeps decreasing. Okay, the value keeps decreasing, like minus 1, when you go to minus 2, when you go to minus 3, it keeps decreasing. So from like they are always smaller than 0. Yes, Abraham.
Ma'am, do you want to show us the number line?
Um, I can make a number line, sure. Now, when we are moving, see what I was telling you is when we are moving from 5 to 4, 4 to 3, 3 to 2, 2 to 1, and 1 to 0. Okay, it is decreasing. Okay, because 5 is bigger, 4 is smaller than 5, then 3 is smaller than 4, 2 is smaller than 3, and 1 is smaller than 2. Then when we get to 0, it's like it becomes 0. Okay, it just becomes 0. All right, like smaller than 1. 0 is smaller than 1. Then when we go to 1, then we will say that again minus 1 is smaller than 0. Okay, because in this order, it's a decreasing order. Okay, it's a decreasing order. And then minus 2 is smaller than minus 1. Minus 3 is smaller than minus 2. Minus 4 is smaller than minus 3. Okay, understanding? All right, so that gives us the fourth one. That gives us the fourth rule that every, like in the negative numbers, it happens opposite. Okay, every bigger negative number is considered smaller than the previous one.
Ma'am, so
Yes.
basically, negative numbers are just basically the opposite of positive, right?
Yes, yes, basically the opposite of positive. For example, for example, I will write minus 9 and minus 12. Which will be bigger, minus 9 or minus 12? Minus 9. Okay, minus 9 will be bigger than minus 12. All right. Same way, if I write, say, minus 10 and minus 11, which one will be bigger? Minus 10. Because in negative numbers, it's the opposite. The smaller one is the bigger one. Okay. And the bigger one is considered smaller. Okay. That's what happens in negative numbers. But positive is just the bigger ones are considered big and smaller ones are considered small. Okay, that's about the positive. Like 4 and 5, I'll say 5 will be the bigger one, larger. Okay. 8 and 10, 10 will be the larger. But minus 8 and minus 10, minus 8 will be larger. Okay, got this about negative numbers and positive numbers?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay, write this down, please.
Done, ma'am. Ma'am, we don't have to draw the number line, right?
If you want, you can draw the number line. Okay, it's up to you. If you want, you can draw the number line. Written, shall I clear the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am,
Okay.
in number 4, there was one word that I was unable to understand.
Yes, Nathaniel.
Every bigger number is, I can't understand the one after is in number 4.
is considered. Okay, considered. CONSIDERED. Okay, you can put this one like this also, or on the left side of 0, whichever integer is at more distance from 0, more distance from 0, will be smaller, will be smaller. Okay, so the more distance you get from 0, 0 is at the center. So from the on the left side, the more distance you go from 0, the smaller the negative integer becomes. Okay, like -2 is smaller than 0. If you go further to -3, then -3 is much smaller than 0, and it is also smaller than -2. If you go more further to -10, then -10 is much smaller than 0. It is smaller than -2, -3, -4, -5, -6, 7, 8, and 9. Okay, -10 is smaller than all of these. All right, and is smaller than all the positive numbers too. Okay, understood the concept?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Can I
and
have a
Ritu,
second to repeat the thing?
say again, Nathaniel.
Can I just write it?
Yes, right.
Okay, ma'am, you can continue.
Okay. Now, we can do addition and subtraction on the number line if we have smaller numbers. Okay. If we have smaller numbers, we can do addition and subtraction on the number line. Okay, but this does not work for the bigger numbers. Why? Why? Because we cannot make very big number lines. Okay, like 40 and 50 and 80. No, for that we have the rules. Okay, like when we are doing addition subtraction with positive and negative numbers. See, when we are working with integers and we have addition and subtraction, we may have both positive integers and negative integers. Okay, like if I say add 5 plus 3, so this can be done on number line, and these are both positive integers. Okay, if I say add -5 plus 3, these are this is positive and negative integer we are adding. Okay, this can also be done on number line. So for smaller operations, we can do on number line. Okay, or directly also. Okay, since it is there, we will cover it doing addition, subtraction on number line. Yes, Abraham, you want to ask something?
No, ma'am.
Okay, let me make it bigger. No problem, Anna. 0. You can make a number line with me. Okay. Now see, I have to do addition on number line. Okay. 5 and 3. Okay. So, okay, Anna, it's okay. It's all right. Hope my screen and my voice is clear to you. Okay. Okay. So it says that 5 plus 3. Okay. So what we will do, from 0 we will start. Okay. And we can move on to 3. Okay. From 0 we can move on to 3. Okay. And then 3 to 5. 5 places we have to move. Okay. So count 5 places. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. How many places do we have in total? 8 places. So the answer becomes 8. Okay. See, this is very simple. 5 plus 3, you can just do it without any number line thing. But if the question says that draw it on an, do it using a number line, then this working I need. This working has to be there. Okay. Make a number line. Okay. Write the numbers, show it with the arrows. Okay. And then write the answer. All right. I know you all can do 5 plus 3 equals to 8 in your sleep also. Okay. I get it. But when the question says that do it using a number line, please make a number line and show the procedure and then solve it. Okay. Got it. One more we will see. Okay. You can write this down. In this one, let's work with positive and negative integer. Minus 3 plus 5. Okay. Minus 3 plus 5. Okay. Now, what we will do, we have minus 3. And minus 3 comes where? If we move 3 steps towards the left from 0, we will get how much? We'll get how much? Minus 3. Okay. So we are going to move 3 steps left from 0. Okay. And plus 5. Okay, it says plus 5. Okay. So from minus 3, we will go towards the right side 5 steps. Okay. 5 steps on the right of minus 3. Okay. 5 steps on the right of minus 3, we will go like this. Okay. 5 steps on the right of minus 3, we will go. Why? Because it says plus 5, minus 3 plus 5. See, look very carefully. First, it said that I have minus 3. So Minus 3 is on the left side of the number line. So I have gone 3 steps, okay, until I reached minus 3 from 0. Now it says plus 5. So I'll not go back to 0 and then count, go towards the right 5 steps. No. From minus 3, I will go. From minus 3, I will go 5 steps towards the right side. Okay. Where did I reach? Where did I reach? I reached 2. Okay, I reached 2 when I moved 5 steps from minus 3. So the answer becomes 2. Okay, that is where the answer becomes 2. Understood? This can also be done, okay, if we just skip the number line process. We know that minus plus is minus, okay, so 5 minus 3 is 2, and we put the sign of the bigger number, that is 5 is positive, so 2 will be in positive. That thing is there, okay, I get it, but question says that you have to do using the number line, so you have to show the number line working. Okay, you have to show the number line working. Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Shri and Nathaniel, understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and have you all written it,
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
all of you?
Yeah, ma'am. I wrote it.
Okay. Next, we have subtraction on the number line. Make a number line. Now, question says that subtract 3 from 5. 5 minus 3. So from 0, we will get to 5. Okay. And then it says that subtract 3. Okay. So from 0 to 3 is this much. Okay, I have subtracted. So what is remaining? What is remaining? This much is remaining. How many numbers? 2. How many places? 2. So 5 minus 3 is gonna be 2. Okay, understood? Very simple. Is it clear, Nathaniel?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, please make it.
Ma'am, will you be teaching us about the science today or tomorrow?
Teaching you about what, Abraham?
Ma'am, like how to do it without a number line, like for big numbers.
Yes, I'll teach you tomorrow. Okay,
Okay, ma'am.
I'm going to teach it to you tomorrow how to do it without a number line. Let's now work with positive and negative integers. Okay, next question says that from 5 subtract minus 3. 5 minus 3. Okay, this we have to solve. So we will go from, this is easy, okay, look carefully. We will go from minus 3, okay, that is being subtracted towards the positive number from which we have to subtract, that is 5. Okay, from here to here, we will go. Count how many places are there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. How many places? 8. So the answer becomes how much? 8. Okay. When you have like negatives, okay, minus and minus sign, all right, we will go from the negative number that is there on the left towards the positive number that's there on the right. Count how many places in between, and that is going to be your answer. Okay, understood this one?
Ma'am, I have a question.
Yes, Abraham.
Ma'am, for the test of this chapter, when you're taking it on the book, like on a book, can we draw number lines, like a
When I'm
multiple amount of number lines, and then like when it comes, we can just like when the question comes, we can just write use the number line.
in the book, can you draw number lines? You're saying?
No, ma'am, in the book that we're going to be giving the test. So before the test, can we just draw a number line so it doesn't waste our time? And when we get to the question, we can just write about it in the book where which we draw the number lines.
Okay, Abraham, you can do that in my class, but you cannot do that when you will give an actual examination, right? So that is not possible in an actual examination. So don't do that. In the test itself, while you are giving the test, okay, that time only you can draw the number line and solve. Okay. There are like number line questions aren't a lot, but mostly questions that you will get in the test, you have to do without a number line. Okay. Number line questions usually are limited. Okay, you have to draw it in the test itself. Also, I will take session on how to attempt the test, okay, time management, how to answer the questions and all of that in the upcoming classes. Okay. Okay, Anna, you can leave now. We will continue with the portion tomorrow. Okay.
Thank you,
Bye.
ma'am.
Okay. All right. So I was telling you all, I was supposed to take a session before the science exam, but because I had to give you a leave, I couldn't. But in the further classes, we will take. Okay, we will discuss. For I will give you all the instructions for the math test tomorrow. Okay, since the test is on Friday, and whenever we have test that day, we don't have class of that particular subject. Math test is there, so math class is not there, so that you can do a revision in that time. Okay. When science test is there, science class is not there. So on that day, so that you can do a revision. So Friday, science class will be there, math class will not be there, so that you can revise for the test. And the noon test is shared. Okay, test will be shared in afternoon. So we stop here for today. Tomorrow, rest of it we will discuss tomorrow. Okay.